I'm Caleb Brooks with the AHSAA Radio Network. I'm at Dale County High School, joined by head football coach, Coach Don Moore. And Coach, it's a big week for your team and
Yes,
for
sir.
you guys. Really a must-win
Oh, it is.
situation.
Yes, sir.
And I just kind of want to get your thoughts and tell me a little bit about this season so far. Tell me about your team and how you feel about how this year has really gone for your team so far.
Well, we've had some injuries early. It kind of stalemated us a little bit, and we're young. We're really young. That's been our biggest thing is trying to get our younger kids that are playing up to the varsity speed, because most of our guys that are starting this year played junior varsity last year. So we're just trying to make that transition for them as best we can. And we've taken our lumps. So I'd love to say I wish it would be better, but I'm also kind of happy at where we are right now, because last year at this time we didn't have a shot to get in the playoffs, and this year we do. So we've taken care of enough business to get us in this situation to get us where we want to be.
Yeah, and not making the playoffs a year ago. How big is this game for this program and for where you're trying to take this program?
Well, I mean, it's big in the eyes of coaches-wise, but I tell our kids all the time, don't make it bigger than what it is. Every game is important, but every game's not special. So don't try to make it bigger than what it is. It's still a football game at the end of the day. It's still a game that you play that you love. So the main things we want to do is just go out and have fun and just do what you've been coached.
Before you came here as an assistant, you're at Pike County, you're at Goshen, you come here, you were an assistant here since 2012, you get the head coaching job. How much did your time as an assistant, all three places, prepare you for what you're doing now?
I think it's prepared me tremendously, just as far as learning from other coaches and having a bunch of different assistant coaches come in and out of here, and just different takes on things, and just putting your own spin on it. I think you learn from a lot of different coaches of what you like, what you don't like, and you just go from it and put what you like all together, and that's what you got.
How much, have you kind of changed? Like maybe when you were an assistant at the beginning and you would have said, if I was a head coach, I'd maybe do this style of offense and this style of defense. Has it changed over time?
Oh, it has. I mean, it really has. And I used to be real headstrong and say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that one day. But over the years, I've learned you develop that off of your players. If you got a bunch of small guys, you obviously can't run the power eye.
Yeah.
So if you got a bunch of big guys, you probably don't need to run the spread. So we develop those things around our players, and that's what best fits us. So it could change year to year as far as that goes. But
you were part of the staff here that played for a state championship and played against Madison Academy that year. And for this program to make it that far that year and to have, the taste of what it's like to go and make a state championship, how big was that for Dale County as a football program as a whole?
Oh, it was history making. I mean, it really was. Those kids that were on that team and that senior group that was there will never be forgotten here for what they did for this program and what they did for this community and this school, most importantly. And hopefully one day these young guys that we have will be able to get a little taste of that success and grow on it. And that's the biggest thing. As far as this Friday goes, is we got to get them to where they taste it and they know what success is and they want it more and more.
I mean, for you and for this team this year, obviously, you want to make the playoffs and you want to, like you said, give these kids a taste. But,
yes, sir.
Even if you don't win this week, how important would it be to finish, let's say, next week and end the year with a win to build some momentum going into next year, even if you don't come out?
Yeah, I mean, every year you want to finish a year with a win.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's only, if you make the playoffs, there's only one team that really does that. And if you don't make the playoffs, then that's your high note. That's your motivation is going in, is trying to end on a high note, trying to get back to a win and just finish the year.
When you think back on where you started here to where you're at now, where has this program really developed and I guess grown the most from when you took over as an assistant to where you're now here as a head coach?
Wow, that's a good question. It's probably grown the most with for one, the players, as far as just having different aspects, and the coaches, and with the community support. I think that's where the biggest thing is. When we got here, we had some, but we didn't have a whole lot, and now we're getting more and more. So that's a big thing.
I hear coaches all the time when I talk about, what was it like when you first took over as head coach, and they go, well, you're really never prepared to be a head coach until you do it. So for you, what was some of the shocks that you kind of had when you did take over and become the head coach?
Oh, man, dealing with everything else that didn't have anything to do with football. I'll tell you that. If I didn't have to deal with that stuff, then it would have been great. But, you live and you learn, and I'm learning how to adapt with all that stuff and, categorize it better and get things taken care of in a more timely manner as far as that goes.
Where do you feel like you've grown as a head coach these last 2 years, now having the experience of being the head guy on the sideline and now coaching, almost 20 games?
I think, to me, being just more composed throughout the game, that's my biggest thing, is I'm real calm until it's game time, and then I get really fired up as far as, sideline stuff. So I've tried to, hone in on that and try to be even keel, whether we're up, whether we're down, whether it's tight or whatever, just for the players mainly, and just overall organization in general.
After being an assistant, for as long as you were, when you're assistant, you're hands-on with everything with the players. You're normally over a group or, one side of the ball. And so for you, when you did take over, was it kind of an adjustment for you to hand over everything to assistants and oversee the whole group?
Oh, yeah, especially it was. It was very difficult at times. I've learned to be better at it this year. I still am coaching a position. I coach inside linebacker, so I still get hands-on, and I'm still I help with defense as far as that goes, and I'm a special teams guy. But I ran the defense here for 7 years, and I handed it over to Dusty Harrison, he's done a great job with it. But just handing it over to someone else was hard at times. But I knew, in order for our kids to understand that he was the defense coordinator, and that and for him to learn and grow, that I had to do that. It was tough. Just because I just want to be hands-on with it. But it's worked out well.
You kind of mentioned about earlier in the year y'all had some injuries on this team that you kind of had to deal with. But do you feel like this is a group that, where you're at right now, you're playing for a playoff spot, but if you can get in, do you feel like y'all are kind of getting to the point where you're playing maybe your best football at the right time? I
think so. I think this week is going to determine a lot as far as that goes. I tell our kids every week, I say, we're waiting. Us coaches believe in you so much. We're waiting on you to put it all together, because we haven't had a game yet where we put it all together as far as offensively, defensively, special teams. We've had highs and lows of each. So we're still waiting on that. And that's what I tell them every week. We're waiting for us to for you to figure it out, that light switch to come on, and everything gets put in together at the same time.
You are facing a team in Headland this week that beginning of the year, a lot of people thought very highly of. They were a top 10 team, and they haven't had the year that they probably thought they were going to have either. And so, when you get a team like that did have a lot of hype and then maybe hadn't had, do you feel like they could be a dangerous team coming in because of,
Headland's a dangerous team.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't read too much in the polls and all that. They've had injuries as well. They're still a really good football team over there. Coach Rain's done a great job, and his coaching staff over there. They're a dangerous team for sure. They got speed, they got size, they got all the tools they need to take care of things if we don't play well.
What are some of the things that you feel that your team does a good job of, though, throughout the year, even though you maybe don't have the record that you feel like you probably should have and want to have? What are some of the things that y'all do a good job of?
We just don't quit. I think that's the biggest thing. We keep fighting. No matter what the score is, we're still going. Is our biggest thing.
How important is that for a program that like you're trying to build it back up to where it was, when you first got here?
That's huge. Because you deal with that so much these days with kids, not having a lot of success with something, they just kind of push to the side, or they just drop their heads and hang their heads, and we haven't had that this year, and so that's been a highlight for us, is to watch these young kids still trying no matter what. And that's what we tell them every time, just keep playing each play. Just don't worry about what it looks like. Let's keep playing. So that's been one of the highlights for us this year.
Coach, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with
Thank
me,
you.
Let me come here, visit your school. Good luck to you guys this week. Huge
Appreciate
game.
it.
I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. A lot of big games around the state.
It is.
Fun time of year. It's what you work for.
That's right.
So I wish you guys nothing but luck, and hopefully we'll see you guys playing in the postseason later on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.